Welcome in, everybody. We have Sunday Night Football. I don't know why the NFL gave us so many Jets primetime games, but we have another one. We have the Jets. We have the Steelers. Nobody's expecting a lot of points, but that doesn't mean we can't make a lot of money. I'm with my man JJ. We're going to break everything down for you guys and get you to the parlay. Let's do it. So we'll start off with the Jets, and we'll just address the elephant in the room. Davante Adams traded to the Jets. This is going to be his first game back. Everybody knows his history with Aaron Rodgers, and honestly, that's going to be the story of this game. We have last game was their first game with a new play caller. Now they're inserting a big piece, or what's likely going to be a big piece in this offense. There's a lot of moving pieces, so I think the big things that you need to know is Davante Adams is going to be the dominant X receiver. He's going to be their outside receiver. When they're playing man coverage one-on-one, they're going to go to Davante Adams. But what would that mean for Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard? I think they're going to trade off between the slot and the second outside position. Pretty 50-50 there. And then all that's left is the backfield, where Breece Hall saw 87% of snaps last week, as he fucking should. He's an elite back in the NFL. It's about time the Jets decided to start using him like that. So his usage went up like crazy. Davante Adams is going to mess with the whole Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard usage, who've both been doing pretty well for themselves up to this point. And I think that whole reading the usage is just going to be a mess. But I think what I'm personally expecting, I think we've seen Aaron Rodgers have a lot of frustration just not being on the same page with his wide receivers up to this point of the season. I think with Davante Adams, I think it's just going to be a fresh air for him, a breath of fresh air, back shoulder throws, go get it type of throws where it's just, hey, I'm just going to trust my guy. I think we're going to see at least 3 or 4 of those in this game. And then they're going to keep using Breece Hall. The Steelers matchup isn't great for using Breece Hall in the rush game, but when you have a guy as good as Breece Hall, you're going to try and get him the ball, and I think that's what they do.
Yeah, someone got to get phased out here. It's probably going to be Conklin. I think Adams will be a great addition. Probably still won't do much for their playoff hopes because offensive line is still garbage, but at least Davante Adams can run down that red line, right? He's going to blame somebody. You better blame Davante Adams this time if he run the wrong route.
He will never do what to Davante Adams what he did to Mike Williams. No chance. Yeah. But on the Steelers side, just another big elephant in the room, Justin Fields, who has 10 touchdowns and 1 interception and has led the Steelers to a 4-2 record, is no longer the starting quarterback, apparently. We're putting our faith in Russell Wilson. Don't know what they're doing, but I'm not expecting this offense to get better. I'm expecting it to get worse. The good news for them, though, is Jaylen Warren, for the first time, seems to be 100% healthy this season. But for more bad news, Arthur Smith is still the offensive play caller for this offense. So, JJ, I don't know if you have more to add on to that.
I mean, the only thing I could really say here is with Russell Wilson, they'll probably use a little bit more play action. From the speak I've been hearing on Twitter and all that from like all the Steelers guys, sounds like there's like a theory that they're kind of setting up the plays for Russell Wilson last week, and they wanted to see how Justin Fields could operate with it, essentially open up the playbook a little bit more. But, I mean, it's just theories and all that, conspiracy theories, if you will. But, I mean, it does make sense. They already switched on him. They want to see what he can do. They have a bye in like 3 weeks, so he'll get about 2 games, I think, right now. Then they'll go into the bye and they'll figure out what they want to do. I think eventually they will go back to Justin Fields. They pretty much do the same stuff, but Russell Wilson is better with play action and having Arthur Smith as your coordinator. He loves play action. But the red zone rushing upside that Justin Fields has and being able to scramble, they're going to need that. And Russell Wilson does not have that. He loves, growing up in Seattle, he loves to try to run outside the pocket and try to do that little spin move. But teams are caught on over the years. It doesn't work. They're forcing him to step up into the pocket, and him being as short as he is, it just doesn't work.
Russell Wilson is the king of self-created sacks. Jalen
Yes.
Hurts picked up on it a little bit more recently, but Russell Wilson is the king of it. What was weird was in Denver, I guess not weird when you consider who the coach was, but he kind of turned into a check down merchant. With Jalen Warren in the mix now, like if that's still the case, then Jalen Warren could feast. But like I don't know what the game plan is with him in Pittsburgh. So kind of like you were saying, JJ, Justin Fields opens up some things that you just don't get with Russell Wilson. There was a few plays that were even just in the last game where if it was Russell Wilson, he would have gotten clamored for a sack, but Justin Fields just ran for a 10-yard gain through the gap instead. So there's going to be a lot of elements to this offense that you get with Justin Fields that you don't get with Russell Wilson. It's going to be interesting to see if that actually shows up on game one. But I think that's all that's worth covering outside of just the Jets' run defense isn't good. We've seen this pretty much every week. Again, in prime time. I don't know why we keep getting Jets primetime games. The unfortunate side of it is I'm not trusting Najee Harris. I'm done trusting Najee Harris.
Yeah.
In real life, like, cool, I'd like to have him as the running back of my team. When it comes to betting on stats or playing him in fantasy football, I'm not doing it. I don't want to play that game, and I don't want to recommend anybody to play that game. But if you really wanted to, this is a good matchup to do it.
Yeah, definitely. The Steelers, they're decent in the run game, but Arthur Smith, he loves to run the ball. They're going to set up everything to run the ball, which is going to open up the play action. And the Jets having the 25th run DVOA on defense, I mean, it sets up perfectly for Najee here.
Oh, 100%. Parlay time?
Let's get to it.
All right, so we're mixing it up again, and this game is ugly. There's not a lot of props to like in this game, going to be honest with you guys. So we did a first quarter parlay, and the reason we did that is because in the first quarter is when playbooks are schemed a little bit more specifically to players. So if the books don't adjust correctly, there is some edge where no matter how good or bad the matchup is, as long as the play caller wants to get this guy the ball, there will be opportunities. So that's what we did. The first two legs we're going to start off with Aaron Rodgers 40-plus passing yards and Davante Adams 10-plus receiving yards. And the reason we did this is because Garrett Wilson's numbers in the first quarter have been ridiculous. He's averaging 18 yards per game. In the first game with the new play caller, he got 33. So why are we taking Davante Adams and not Garrett Wilson? Well, I think Davante Adams picks up on a lot of that. And two, we're betting a little bit on narrative here. It's prime time. It's the NFL. It's the League of Entertainment. Davante Adams just got there with his new old quarterback. They're going to want to throw him some bones. So Davante Adams is the receiver we're targeting. As far as Aaron Rodgers to get 40 yards, well, the Steelers have surprisingly been one of the worst first quarter passing defenses in the NFL. And in the first game with the new play caller, they threw the ball on 67% of plays in the first quarter. Very healthy dose for 40 simple yards. Next up, Jalen Warren, 5.5 rushing plus receiving yards. He's averaging 2 attempts per game, rush attempts per game in the first quarter so far this season. And on top of that, last game, he had 2 targets in the first quarter. He can hit those on just the rush attempts or just the targets by themselves. If he's going to continue getting 2 attempts on each side of the ball, 5.5 makes zero fucking sense, especially against this Jets run defense. And lastly, we're taking the under 39.5. Primetime unders, specifically Sundays. You just got to keep trusting that system. We've gotten bit in the ass on the last leg of a few parlays, but trust the process. So that parlay pays out plus 732. Again, Davante Adams 10 receiving yards, Aaron Rodgers 40 pass yards, Jalen Warren 5.5 rushing plus receiving yards, all first quarter, and the other under 39.5 points for the full game, plus 732. Lock it in. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. JJ, appreciate you as always. Hope you have a great night, morning, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, everybody.